صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المظلومين صلى الله عليك يا وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. Everybody together. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن everybody وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات. Inshallah, this year will be the year of the reappearance of our beloved Imam Mahdi Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajul Sharif with the blessing of another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, all of us that are gathering tonight to commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam will be amongst the companions of our beloved Imam Mahdi Ajjalallah Ta'ala Farajul Sharif with the blessing of another loud salawat. قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. He who created death and life that he may test you to see which of you is best in conduct. Chapter 67 verse 2. For those who have attended university or are attending university currently, when we go to the first day of school, amongst the first question that we ask from our teacher, how it's going to be the final exams. How are you going to examine us? Is the examination based on the book that you have given us to read? Is the examination based on the class participation? Is it going to be from your lecture? Is it going to be from the slides that you have provided? What are the ways that you are going to examine us? Why we care about this, for those who already have passed university or currently in university, we do have this concern first day of school. How we are going to be tested? Again, is it so we know, are we going to attend the class or we can skip? Such as the person sitting in front of you, sheikh, this week and next week he's going to miss the lecture. Why? Because he's going to be giving lecture. And he's going to be serving Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. But I know that the examination, it's not based on the class lecture. Rather, it is based on the book that we have to read. So based on my understanding of the examination, I shape my lifestyle around that class that I'm taking, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Also, I would like to know, and we would like to know, is it going to be multiple choice when we're going to be examined? Is it going to be fill in the blank? Are we going to have the word bank or not? Are we going to have a short essay or a long essay? These are all of our concerns first day and first week of school when we attend. Why? Why we have this concern in our mind when we attend school? Even our Saturday school, When kids come, and alhamdulillah, we are blessed to have a good Saturday school with a good staff and good teachers and more than 120 students. They asked me the first day, Sheikh, how are we going to be examined? Because they want to know, should they participate in the class? Is participation in the class going to be accepted? Is it going to be giving any points or not? These are all our concerns. Again, why? Because we want to keep our lifestyle and shape it the way that the class requires us to shape it. Testing. It's our main concern in the school. Let us remember the verse that we enlighten our gathering with. Allah alladhi khalaqa al-mawta wal-hayat. The reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created death and life. We can give 1 hour lecture why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought death, then life. Why not life, then death? That is not our concern right now. This part of the verses of Quran is not the point of our reference. الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةِ. The reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created death and life. Why? لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. He created us to test us. This life of us, it's the test. From the beginning that we realize ourselves until the last day of our life, we are being tested. Do we know the test of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we know how is He going to test us? Are we ready for those tests? Do we know the answers? Is it a short essay? Oh Allah, is it a short essay that I have to write? Is it multiple choice? If I fail one test, am I going to get a chance so I can repeat the test? If I submit my essay, am I going to get a chance to rewrite it after the teacher has been seen it or not? These are the questions that unfortunately majority of the people are not aware of, that the concept of us being tested. The concept of the testing, it's the topic of our next 13 nights that inshallah I have the honor of serving you guys and lecturing. Testing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's test. Why are we being tested? How are we going to be tested? Is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala testing us for His knowledge or for our own sake? These are the questions. Test within the verses of Quran. Test within the hadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. And at the end we will have a very good transition of the biggest test probably taken from mankind, and that is the test from Abu Abdullah Hussein on the day of Ashura. A lot of people within our history, all of the prophets, all of the imams were tested. We all are being tested on an hourly basis, on a minute basis, on a daily basis. We must know that we are being tested. We are being tested when it comes to marriage. Having a good wife or bad wife. Having a good husband or a bad husband. That's a test. At a good time, when we are happy, we are being tested. At the time of difficulties, we're being tested. When we start a business, we're being tested. If that business becomes successful and we start gaining profit, we're being tested. If we lose the business, we're being tested. At every time, meeting a strange person, we're being tested. With our kids, we're being tested. Every minute of our life, we are being tested. But each and every one of us, we have different tests. Let me clarify something and give the first action plan of tonight. As you know, all of our lectures, inshallah, we are going to have action plans. I was in Canada last year, Muharram. That was my second year that I was there. One of the elder brothers and one of the younger brothers, they came to me after the third year I went to them. He showed me his phone. He's like, Sheikh, look, from 3 years ago, all of the action plans that you have given us, I recorded it and I wrote it. So I go back to it. These action plans are all based on Quran and Ahadith and our understanding of these two gems that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent us. Action plan. We are not allowed, we should not judge anyone. What did I say? We are not allowed, we should not judge anyone because we don't know the test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving him or is giving her. We don't know the test. As I said, unfortunately, when I was preparing this lecture, these series of lectures, majority of us, we don't know that we are being tested. And I will let you know how I come to conclusion that majority of us, we don't know we're being tested. We don't know the people, what kind of test they are going through, number one. We don't know if they know they are being tested or not, number two. We don't know if they have any information about how to go with this test or not. We don't know if they are in the beginning of the test. We're not sure if they are in the middle of the test. We are not sure if they are at the end of the test. Are they trying to come out of this test? We cannot judge them because we don't know their situation. We are not in their shoes. So please, action plan number one. We are not allowed, this is for the third time, we are not allowed and should not judge anybody because we don't know their test. If we did judge them, and if we did criticize them, according to hadith of our Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put us throughout the same test also. And we are not sure if we can take that test and pass it or not. We have to keep reminding ourselves that we are being tested constantly. But unfortunately, as we said, we are not aware of it, and this has not become part of our culture as an individual that we are being tested. Action plan number two. Rather than, I call people, Assalamu alaikum brother, when they come here, or Assalamu alaikum sister, how are you? Alhamdulillah, I'm good. But I can see them. They're Alhamdulillah. It's not Alhamdulillah by the definition of truly Alhamdulillah. They say Alhamdulillah because it's a sheikh, and when we say the sheikh, we have to say something like religious. Alhamdulillah, MashaAllah, Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. We just have to say something religious. But they don't mean it. Some people, they mean it from the bottom of their heart, Alhamdulillah. Rather than saying, that's the second action plan, rather than saying, I'm facing a difficulties, I'm facing a problem, we are going to say, Alhamdulillah, Allah has given me another test. Will come in the following night. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala test us? But rather than say, I'm facing a difficulties, I'm facing a problem within my life, I don't know what to do, and na'udhu billah, God forbid, start complaining, we are going to say, Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me new tests. I was reading a quote, a beautiful quote. The quote said, the movie director, gives the toughest position within the film to the person who sees can fulfill this role. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created us, He knows our capacity. And He is just. We believe justice is part of our usul al-din. Second pillar. We believe He is just. Based on His justice, He is not going to give us an exam that we cannot take. He is not going to give us an exam without giving us the answers and without helping us through that examination. When I was taking the SOL in high school a decade ago, we had one teacher assistant. She was very nice lady. Throughout the year, Allah has blessed me. I have a very good personality with everybody. I just love to, she was an elderly person. For example, I would come from lunchtime, I buy her Coke. One time I gave her the Coke like this. She said, you never give a Coke to lady unopened. You make sure you open it and you give it. I said, okay, I didn't know. Elderly lady, very nicely. I'm taking the SOL. I'm really confused with some of the questions. She comes past by me, she puts her hand on the answers. I was like, okay, make sure, don't cheat. And she puts her answer. How much happy we get when during time of the test, we have a couple of questions, we have so much difficulty, we are squeezing our brain to get the last drop of knowledge out of it. There is nothing in there. somebody comes and gives us the answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just to examine us without giving us the right way to answer it and helping us. He's just. And He knows our capacity. He gives us based on our capacity. Third action plan. Let's remind ourselves of the first action plan, which was we are not allowed and we should not judge anyone because we don't know the test that they are going through. Number two, rather than saying I am facing a new problem, a new difficulties, a new challenge, alhamdulillah, from bottom of my heart, alhamdulillah, Allah is looking at me and He's giving me new tests. We'll talk about it in the coming nights, why Allah tests us. Third action plan. We should not say, I wish this wouldn't happen. I wish this incident, this event, this problem, this difficulty, this accident, whatever it is, this challenge, this problem that we face on a daily basis, we should not say, I wish this wouldn't happen to me. Basically what we're saying, I wish Allah won't examine me. We read the verse in the beginning, chapter 67. The one who has, He who created death and life. Why? So he may test you. And there are many other verses in the Holy Quran that talks about the concept of test. Inshallah, we'll talk about it in the coming nights. Before I came here tonight, the management told me there is a camera, not this camera that is filming me, no. There is a camera that is filming one of the individuals sitting in here. Why? Because they want to do something, they have a proposal for this person. They are observing all of his, one brother, and all of her movement. How she sits, how she behaves. How is he sitting within the majlis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, where we believe, is part of our belief, that any majlis of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha, and Imam Mahdi ajjalullah ta'ala faraj sharif, they are present. This is part of our belief. So this camera, they told me, don't tell them that they're being filmed. We want to see how they behave, how they react to the lecture. When you talk about this segment, what would they say? Don't tell them who they are. Do you want me to tell them who they are? It's me. It's all of us. All of us sitting here, the camera of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is filming us. Every millisecond, every minute, every hour, every movement, every glance of an eye. In Quran, there is kha'inatul a'yun. When I look like this, it's being recorded. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to do something with us. He is testing us. He is putting us through a test, and He's observing all of our movements. Knowing and believing that every problem and difficulty is a test would change our perspective toward our life. But we don't have that kind of mindset. When we face a problem, oh my God, one problem after another. One problem after another. But we see some people, and I know them, the problems that they are facing, it's like no other. You can take a minute of it. When you see them, they say, Alhamdulillah. Ashkurulillah. They are the happiest person on earth. Why? Because their mindset toward life, this life is a test. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing me for a reason. I appreciate this test. I don't complain about this test. A teacher was advising a group of people, you're about to take some youngsters to camping. We need this little brother to be taken, inshallah, either by his parents or to the daycare. Let's have a loud salawat. I can know that by now that you are not paying attention to two words that I said. I said a loud salawat. For hastening the appearance of our beloved Imam Mahdi ajjalullah ta'ala faraj sharif, another loud salawat. This teacher was advising a couple of adults who are taking some kids to camping. They came to the sheikh, what can we do for these kids? We want lectures in this camp. This teacher, this sheikh told them, you should not lecture within the camp. There's another way that you can educate kids without testing them. They asked how. He said, do this. First night when they're in camp, during camp, we are all out of our comfort zone. He told them, the sheikh told these adults who are taking about 20 to 30 kids to camp. He told them, no lecturing, but put them through tests so you will know their personalities. And their personalities will be developed within this 10 days that they are with you. He said, first night, give him a bowl of soup. Are you with me? Give him a bowl of soup to all of them. They will ask, where's the spoon? Tell them, sorry, we didn't bring spoon. Right now, keep this example, we come to our daily life. As soon as you said, sorry, we didn't bring spoon, somebody will say, look at these people. They organize a camp, they don't bring the necessities, a spoon, they don't bring. He started complaining. The other person will say, what is this? You brought us here, no spoon. The third person will say, what can I do? I'll just take the soup. I just drink it. No other option. The fourth one is ready. He says, okay, I brought an extra. I knew something would happen. I just brought a spoon with me. And he will just take it and he will start taking his soup. The fourth person, he will say, I also brought a spoon, but you, how about I share it with you? How about you take your soup first, you eat your soup first, then you share, you can give me the spoon back, and I'll take this, and I'll take my soup. He shares. Everybody will be different. Another person will just sit and look at the soup. Within 5 minutes, all of their personalities will come out. Tell them, oh, sorry, it was behind the curtain. We just found it. Give it the spoon. Those who complained and screamed and argued and, what is this? They will be sorry. That we shouldn't rush to our behavior. Next day. Take for example, a person washed his clothes and he put it on the rope to dry. Come next to it, take it, hide it, take another shirt and put it in the ground within the mud. When he comes, he says, oh, sorry, I was trying to put my own shirt, just accidentally it fell. Again, somebody said, don't you have eyes? Are you blind? You didn't see my shirt? What's up with you? Some people will fight when it comes to personal. Some people will really, with their personal belongings, they're ready to fight. Somebody will say, okay, just don't do it again. Just move away. Some will say, it's okay, I'll wash it again. Some will be, okay, don't worry about it. It's okay, nothing has happened. As soon as you saw their personality, say, okay, this is it. Sorry, I was just trying to test you. 3, 4 tests. When the 5th time you do something to them, everybody's looking around. Oh, you know it's test. Everybody's happy. You tell them, for example, there is no dinner tonight. No, it's okay. We know it's a test. There is dinner ready for us. Brothers, there is no dinner tonight. Sisters, there is no dinner. No, we have dinner tonight. I'm just talking about the camp. Don't be afraid. We have dinner, inshallah. Brothers have cooked for us. So, by the 4th and the 5th time when we are tested, we know it's a test. We will be comfortable. We won't take it personally. We won't complain. We won't go crazy. We won't scream because we know test. Every minute, that should be the part of our culture. We're being tested on the minute basis. Within our aqidah, we're being tested. Somebody sent us a new video of a scholar or a lecturer saying something. We start thinking, is he right? Is he wrong? He's talking, I don't know. It makes sense, but I've heard hadith which contradicts this person. I don't know. Another person says something. Another person says something. This day and age is is era of having doubts and being tested within our aqeedah. We see some scholars, big scholars, some big lecturers. They say something which contradicts completely Quran and hadith and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Within our aqidah, we are going to be tested every day. We'll bring the verse tomorrow. Within our akhlaq, within our moralities, we're being tested every day. I was just tested. All of us. Our kids, for us parents, our kids, they walk on our last nerve. You've seen, you take the fork and you put it on the steel, the sound is not, that's how kids will do. That's the test. Some women, for their husband, they are the best test. As soon as the husband walks into the house, she starts nagging and complaining. If I have that mindset that this is a test, alhamdulillah, keep. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing me, we will say why. The verse inshallah tomorrow. Or some of the women are very good women. The husband comes in here. As soon as he walks into the house, he throws his jacket there, his shoes there. Where is my tea? Why the food is not ready? If the lady believes that this is a test, she will not go out of her morality, out of her akhlaq. She knows that this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will be tested within our ahkam. Some people will come to us and will say, brother, you don't have to pray all of your prayers on time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful. Allah has given you time. Why so much rushing it? As soon as Adhan says, Allahu Akbar, you don't have to right away say, pray. It's okay, you have time. Why do we have to pray? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in our heart. I love Allah, thank Allah, appreciate Allah within my heart. Why should I pray? Within our ahkam, we're being tested. Some people we see within their najasat, blood, they don't know their najasat. Fourth action plan. For the sake of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that we are gathered here tonight to commemorate his martyrdom. For the sake of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, find your marja', the one that you are following, and take his risala, his Islamic law book, and make sure to read through all of the purities, impurities, what are najasat, what are the ghusuls, wudu, how to fast, how to cure some things. We have to read. Imam Hussein alayhi salam gave his blood for deen. But we see somebody doesn't know how to do wudu at age 30, he still doesn't know how to do wudu. She doesn't know how to do ghusl. She doesn't know that there's the ghusl wajib upon her. She doesn't know. We come here, we commemorate the martyrdom of Imam, we shed tears, very good. Every drop of tears has its own value that nobody can put value on one drop of tears for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Imam gave this blood of his and his heart and his companions, his children, his family. Why? For you and I to follow deen. So the fourth action plan. If you don't have a marja', talk to me, I give you some options, we'll talk about it. If you have a marja', go online, download his book of Risala, his Islamic law, his Risala al-Amaliyah, start reading it, at least those that you want, that is actually part of your day life, such as Salah, such as Zakah, such as Khums, Hajj. We don't have to know all the details of Hajj. I don't know all the details of Hajj. I haven't been to Hajj yet. Inshallah, when we get the blessing to go to Hajj, we will pay attention to the details of it. But what is pure, what is impure, it is all our responsibility to read. Let's remind ourselves about the action plans. Number one, we are not allowed and we should not judge. Number two, Alhamdulillah, rather we say I have a new problem, I am facing a difficulties, Allah is giving me a new test. Number three, don't say I wish this wouldn't happen to me. We're saying I wish Allah wouldn't test me. Allah will test. And four, make sure we take the book of Risala of our Maraja and we read at least what is pure, what is impure, what is najasa, what is tahara, how to do wudu, how to do ghusl. We must know it. I cannot say, well, I didn't know it. Allah will say, didn't you have tablet? Didn't you have computer? You had phone? You could have contacted someone and asked. So let us keep these action plans in mind. On the day 28 of Rajab, Imam Hussein alayhi salam left Medina. Typically within the first night of Muharram, there is the culture within every culture of Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Different nights they do masa'ib of different companions, all of the masa'ib of Imam Hussein alayhi salam happened on that day of Ashura. But every night they dedicated to one of the children of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, or one of the companions, or to Abu al-Fadl Abbas, and we read the masa'ib inshallah. Tonight we will read the masa'ib of Abu Abdullah Hussein leaving Medina. On the 28th of Rajab, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was threatened by Walid ibn Utbah that to come and pledge allegiance, and Imam knew that if he doesn't pledge allegiance with Yazid, he would be killed. He comes and he goes to the grave of his grandfather. He started communicating with his grandfather and shedding tears and talking with his grandfather. Oh grandfather, see what they're doing to your grandson. Only 50 years after the martyrdom of Rasulullah, look what they're about to do with me, oh Jaddah. And he started crying. We can turn off the lights. ثم جعل يبكي عند القبر حتى إذا كان قريبا من الصبح. He started shedding tears and shedding tears. And as soon as the time came, by the time of Subh, the time of Salat al-Subh, before that time, he took a small nap while he's on the grave of his grandfather, Rasulullah. And he dreamed about Rasulullah. فإذا هو رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله ضم الحسين عليه السلام إلى صدره. Rasulullah, he hugged Imam Hussein alayhi salam وقبل بين عينيه, and Rasulullah kissed between the eyes of Imam Hussein alayhi salam وقال حبيبي يا حسين حبيبي يا حسين, oh my beloved, oh Hussein. And he started also shedding tears. كأني أراك عن قريب مرملا بدمائك. Rasulullah is telling him what I'm seeing. He said, as I see that you will be weltering in your own blood, the blood of yours, you will be all bathed within your own blood. وقال حبيبي يا حسين كأني أراك عن قريب مرملا بدمائك مذبوحا بأرض كرب وبناء. As I can see you, they will behead you on the plain of Karbala. وأنت مع ذلك عطشانا. As I see that they will behead you, oh my beloved grandson, oh Habibi ya Hussein. As I see that they will behead you while you are thirsty. يا إن أباك وأمك وأخاك قدموا علي. Your father, your brother Hassan, your mother Fatima al-Zahra, they have approached me and they have told me that we are waiting for Hussein, for our beloved brother, for our beloved son, Abu Abdullah Hussein. وهم مشتاقون إليك وإن لك في الجنان لدرجات لا تنالها إلا بالشهادة. There is a level in heaven for you that you will not attain it unless with shahada. And sha'Allah an yaraka qatila. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is wishing to see you shaheed, is wishing you to be murdered. So imagine, Imam Hussein alayhi salam woke up, he's fearful, he comes back to his house, he starts gathering the companions, start gathering the wife and the kids. He has to be very quiet. He cannot let the people know, because the companions of Yazid, they will behead him, and he has a mission to get to Karbala. Imagine, he has to bid farewell to his young daughter, Alila bint al-Hussein, Fatima bint al-Hussein. How difficult it is in the middle of the night. You have to leave Medina, you have to leave your hometown, you have to leave your some of the families. He had to bid for al-Baneen, he had to farewell Muhammad al-Hanafiya, his brother, and he's about to, imagine yourself, away, running, leaving your hometown in the middle of the night while keeping everybody very quiet and calm down, so make sure nobody cries loud, make sure nobody's talking loud, how difficult it is. And we come and we commemorate the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Why? Because Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha, there's a line of a poetry, inshallah I will read it in Arabic, and I will inshallah conclude that Fatima al-Zahra is from the mouth of Fatima al-Zahra. It's not exactly that she has said this line of poetry, but poets come and they say as they think that Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha is saying these lines of poetry. And those who speak Arabic and they know, please do come with me and follow me inshallah within these lines of poetry that says Ana al-walda, Ana al-walda wal-qalb lahfan أدور عزبني وين ما كان هوالي على ابن المات عطشان ولعبت عليه الخيل ميدان. Basically, Fatima al-Zahra saying, I'm the mother whose heart is very saddened. I look everywhere that there are a couple of people sitting together and commemorating the martyrdom of my beloved son Hussein. I look for these kind of majalis. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون.
عسى هلال الكدر